Hi, this is Claire Prezia, and today I'm going to show you how to make this tag doing some die cutting and heat embossing on felt. Alright, so let's make our base first. So for the tag, I'm going to be using the Hero Arts Tag Infinity die set. It's the second largest tag die, and cutting that out of Kraft cardstock, and then I'm also cutting the little circle cover-up thing. I don't know what the technical term for that is. I cut that out of white cardstock. And once I prepped my tag with some anti-static powder, I'm stamping a sentiment from Hero Arts Holiday Mittens and embossing that with some Hero Arts white embossing powder. So lots of Hero Arts goodness going on here. Alright, so we're going to quickly adhere that white whole thingy. Again, I have no idea what the technical term for that is. I don't know if there is one. And for a little bit of extra texture, we are going to stamp a background using Wood Prints by Leah with some Versamark. Versamark is one of my favorite ink pads just because you can do embossing with it, you can, add some nice watermarking, subtle backgrounds. It's really nice. But just make sure that you do the background after you heat emboss your sentiment, otherwise the embossing powder will stick to the background. And yeah, I would know. Alright, so now we're going to do our felt. So I am treating this whole felt thing basically how I would with paper. So I'm prepping my felt with some anti-static powder, and then I'm inking out my sentiment, or my image, also from Holiday Mittens, with some Versamark, and pressing pretty firmly down into that felt. I'm going to cover it with some Hero Arts white embossing powder, and you're going to see when I first pick it up, there's embossing powder everywhere. But you just flick it off, and then it's not so bad. I'm going to give you a couple tips to get even a crisper impression. Tips which I did not employ because I wanted immediate gratification. I wanted my mitten right then. I didn't want to have to wait. But a couple ways you can get a crisper impression is by ironing your felt beforehand, because the whole thing with not being able to get a crisp impression on the felt is because it's a bunch of little fibers and they kind of stick everywhere and they want to attract all these little stray embossing powders. So if you iron it down, that'll keep some of the fibers out of the way. And you can also try using some fabric stiffener. I didn't use that either because I didn't have any, but I'm pretty sure you can make your own with Mod Podge. Alright, so one of the important things you have to keep in mind when you are heat embossing on felt is what percentage of wool your felt is. Most felt that you'll get at a craft store is almost 100% synthetic, so you have to be really careful when heat embossing because you could melt the felt. I know it sounds kind of silly, but you can actually melt the felt, and you just have to be careful to not be too close to the felt with your heat gun and not heating an area for too long. Just be careful. If you have 100% wool or if you have a blend, it's a little bit easier, but just keep in mind what percentage of wool or synthetic fiber your felt is. Alright, so for these mittens, I wanted to point out real quickly that the coordinating die set for the Holiday Mittens doesn't actually have two dies for the mittens. It only has one die. So the die, you can use it, it's easier for the right, I guess would be the right hand, right mitten, because you can see through it, but for the left mitten's a little bit trickier, but it's still pretty feasible. I just trimmed down my mitten pretty close and then made an educated guess as to where the die would go, and it's actually pretty simple. So I just wanted to point that out real quick, that there's only one die there, but you can use it for both mittens. So once I have my mittens all cut out, I'm going to add a finishing touch of a little bit of string, or I don't know, cord to keep those mittens together. So I'm just using some washi tape to place my string, keep it in shape, and kind of adding some little swirlies here and there. And then I will tie my string off, and I added a little pearl to the center of each one of those mittens. And that will finish off the card. The last thing is, when I adhered my mittens, I used scrappy glue. It works really well for fiber and fabric stuff with paper. So that's what I use to keep my mittens down. Adhesive tape's not really going to cut it in the long run. Also, I apologize that my hair kept getting in the way there. But anyway, I hope you learned something new. I thought it was really fun heat embossing on felt for the first time. I've done die cutting before, which is very fun, but heat embossing was new for me. So if you have any questions, you can leave them on my blog, or you can leave them on the YouTube comment section and I will try to get back to you. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. God bless. Bye.